Hello. Yeah, hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Ankur Agarwal, and I am part in the association with the EduShastra since last almost 10 years. And I mentor the student for various competitive exam, particularly in the management area for national as well as for the international one. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, come in, please.
Hi, Alok. This is Namita. And again, I'm associated with the EduShastra team. And of course, I come from a psychological background. I'm a not a psychoanalyst, but I'm a psychologist, right? And working in the skill development segment, and have been training lots of students for a variety of tests, not just Indian ones, but international ones, right? And I'm a mentor essentially, and of course a facilitator. So as we go ahead with the interview, of course, we will have an opportunity to talk a lot about myself and each other, of course. So please, over to you, sir. Jitendra, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Alok. I am Jitender. I am a teacher and associated with EduShastra from last 10 years. And I am a mentor and counselor too.
Okay, so hi, Alok. Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so Alok, you are a computer engineer, right?
Yeah.
And you have done us a various languages like Java, Python, C, C++, etc. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me one line difference among C, C++, and C sharp? You are saying that you have studied all these three languages, right?
Yeah.
So can you just elaborate just simple one line difference among the three, C, C++, and C sharp?
Okay. So C and C++ are mostly similar. It's just that you have to write less code in C++ due to the fact that there are more functions and all. And but C sharp is a bit different from both of them. It's a bit more similar to Java. It has more similarity with an object-oriented programming language.
Correct.
Okay, so Alok, can you elaborate some difference between a procedural language and object-oriented language?
For an object-oriented language, you usually program it by using the divide and conquer method. So you split it up into the modules and call it procedurally and execute it. But in C++, you usually just procedurally write.
So what is object-oriented language? And can you name any object-oriented language?
Java is object-oriented language. Python is object-oriented.
And what about these three languages, C, C++, and C sharp?
C sharp is also object-oriented.
And C, C++?
They are procedural languages.
Okay, right. So, Alok, can you elaborate one function which is there in the programming? We call it as a recursion, right? Have you heard this term, recursion?
Yeah.
So what is this recursion?
Calling looping through a function, basically. Calling a function inside another function.
So can you give us some example where you can apply this recursion function? Any program,
so for example, take a function A. So it should subtract till it reaches 0. So the function can accept an input, and after accepting the input, it should check if it's greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, it should return some value. Otherwise, it should call that function again.
Okay.
And so it will keep repeating till it reaches 0.
Okay. So, Alok, how will you define the flow chart?
A flowchart is a pictorial representation that helps us get a general idea of how the code will flow. So it's useful for and understanding the code at a single glance, or even someone who doesn't program, or for someone coming from a different language.
Okay, so in a flow chart, we use say some rhombus, right? We use say some rectangular shape, right? We use some parallelogram type of structures. Yes, remember?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Okay. So can you just give me say the uses where to use the rectangle and where to use the rhombus in the flow chart?
I think the rhombus was used for input-output operations, and for the normal processes, they use the rectangle.
Okay, okay, right. So, Alok, can you elaborate a little bit over your projects which you have done during your this computer science engineering?
Yes, I have done a Rolling Stone. It was a 2D platformer game using assembly language in 8086. Then I have done a restaurant website where you could play, where you could set the update your website, and the customer could place orders. And another one was an asymmetric encryption using cryptographic algorithm for banking services. So I used an algorithm called the RSA algorithm to encrypt and decrypt the banking services transactions.
Okay, okay. So Alok, what do you do in your free time?
So currently I am studying Express.js and Node.js more detailed through Udemy. I'm also learning a bit about Pug. It's a HTML templating engine.
This is all about your study. So I just want to understand any game, any book reading. What do you do in your free time?
It's like it's hobbies.
Yeah,
yeah. So recently I like during the COVID period, I started working out, going to gym. So currently that's my hobby, and that's how I refresh myself, and it also helps me think a lot better the time that I'm sitting for doing something productive. And I also met a lot of people, so it refreshes me. And I do read books at times.
Okay, so any particular book, any particular writer?
Yeah, I read this book called 12 Rules of Life. That's the most recent book that I read. It was by Jordan B. Peterson. I did like the general idea of that book, but I felt that the book had it was a bit bloated. I felt it was a bit bloated.
Okay. Okay. Right. So thank you, Alok. Thank you. This is from my side. And yes, Namita ma'am, please continue.
Yeah. There's something very interesting I saw in your resume, right? Hello, hi, Alok. This is Namita again, right? And there's something very interesting, and that is, I just saw that you also know a bit of Japanese, right?
Yeah, I did learn Japanese during my fourth year of college, first sem.
Okay. So you know how many characters are there in Japanese, and you know?
I forgot the count.
46. There are 46 characters, right? And haven't you heard of the hiragana and the katakana?
Yeah. Yes.
What are these?
I suppose, ma'am, 46 characters are also there in the Hindi language.
There is 46 characters. Kind of.
46 letters. Yeah.
But you know, there's a new system in Japanese which says there. And how many letters are there in?
Yeah. So actually, currently now both hiragana and katakana are used. Katakana is mainly used for writing letters. I mean, words that are originated from foreign languages.
Correct.
And hiragana is used for the local language.
Correct.
But in the locals usually go for a mix of hiragana and katakana when they write it.
Okay.
And they also use a lot of kanji. Kanji is there's kanji. So kanji is like, for example, for sun, you have a particular kanji.
Okay.
So they're like symbolic representations of different stuff that you see regularly in your life.
Right, right. Okay. And, how do you connect with others when you're working in a group? What is your way of getting connected to people?
So first, I would definitely talk about myself and encourage them at least through my talk to maybe talk about themselves, to maybe open them up as well. Then if there is
can you give me a concrete example of wherein you had to you were able to prove that you tried to connect with others, right?
Okay. So while making this online restaurant shop, my teammates were people who I did not know.
Okay.
I mean, I had one friend, so the other people were his friends. So we had, that's our connection.
Yeah.
So I had to get to know all of them to work together. So what I did is I would collect information about the project, and I would ask them. I would tell them what I like to do about it, and I would ask them if they are comfortable doing this. I took the initiative to lead the project a bit. Then I also use my connection with my friend to ask as a bridge between us.
Correct.
Help us connect.
Okay. And you have also worked on a project on which you used homographic encryption. So can you give us a concrete example, some example wherein homographic encryption is used is it used in everyday lives? Do we use it? Do we use homographic encryption in everyday life, or it is yet to be utilized?
No, we do use it. I'm not sure.
So can't you share an example of homographic encryption wherein it was used? I mean, a kind of, if I ask, suppose you have to explain it to a layman what a homographic encryption is all about. So that's exactly what I'm asking for.
Okay. So
okay.
So if you are sending a message from A to B,
okay,
it is all
okay.
Okay, the message will be encrypted, and only B will have the key to the message. And I don't remember. I don't.
Okay. And what's your view of artificial? I mean, how do you see the future of artificial intelligence in the Indian context?
I see it as a helpful tool. It will help take the load off. I mean, it will help reduce our thinking load by a lot. So we'll be able to focus on more stuff.
But don't you think it will snatch away the employment from so many? Because everything will be done through artificial intelligence, right? A lot of things that normally ordinary people do, they will be done by the system, the computers, right?
I think that more opportunities of employment will come. I mean, even now, there are a lot of jobs which people say are worthless or are not useful, but there are still a lot of jobs that are coming. There are being more and more jobs are created, even though a lot of automation is taking place. So I think that even if AI takes over a lot of jobs, a lot of other jobs will be created because people will still want some human interaction.
Correct. Okay, what do you do for entertainment?
I sometimes play video games with my friends.
Is that so?
Yeah.
And okay. Don't you have any interest in music and, some other form of creativity like movies, music, some kind of,
I like watching movies, but only with my friends. So I don't usually generally go ahead and watch a movie on my own, but I enjoy spending time with other people. So if they call me for a movie, I would enjoy going for a movie. Otherwise,
so thank you so much. And I think over to Jitendra, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, Alok, first of all, how has Corona changed your life?
I think it had impacted my life for the better. I actually had a great time.
Oh, how? Elaborate.
So when I joined college, I was put in a. I had never been away from home, right? So when I was put in college, I didn't know how to talk to people, how to make friends. So, but during the first year, I still managed to make some friends, and by second year, my friend circle had grown really big. Through one friend of mine, his name is Sai. I'll refer to him as such, and he lives near me, which I didn't know at that time. So after Corona struck, at first I wanted to stay away from my home. That's why I went to VIT Vellore, which is a bit far from Trivandrum, from where I stay. But during this period, I got to spend a lot of time with my family, and going to the gym definitely boosted my self-confidence by a long shot. And now I'm really comfortable with talking to anyone face to face. And I'm also more interested in having conversations with people, as well as a lot of incidents as like reading and hearing other people's thoughts has made me more open-minded. So I think the transformation of the last 2 years was a positive one for me.
Okay. So who is your role model,
Alok? My current role model would be my dad. it's
most of the students in this. And why? Can you just elaborate on that?
He's a very open-minded person, and he's logical. He always tries to put logic first before emotions. I like that aspect about him. And he's caring towards his family. And he's also very relaxed. I never seen him stressed out in front of us.
Okay. So what is a graphical user interface?
Graphical user interface is what you currently see in front of you. Basically, it has images and pictures to guide you through the system.
Okay. So you prefer Mac or Windows?
I have not used the Mac, so I cannot speak for Mac users. So I would not like to. But generally speaking, I think Windows is also becoming a lot more closed software, and they are reducing the. I mean, before you could configure Windows to however you want, but currently after Windows 11 update, even for disabling the Edge browser, you have to do a lot of stuff. So they are locking down the what do you say, customization. So currently, as it stands, I think both are equal.
Okay. So what is the dream company you want to join after MBA? Anything in your mind? Any ideal company you want to join? Or you want to open your own startup or entrepreneurship? Which you want to do?
I mean, I would definitely like to open my startup. If I mean, that's definitely there. I haven't decided where to go, and for a company that I would like to join, if possible, I would definitely like to join Apple, because they spend a lot on R&D and stuff, and I would definitely like to oversee some of the research stuff they do. And theirs is one of the first, most management first and marketing first teams in the world. Their management is very great, so I would like to work with them.
Okay. And what are your qualities that any MBA college should give you an admit? Qualities you have?
I'm a very scientific person and a very open-minded person. I'm always willing to listen to other people's opinion, and also not afraid to express my opinions. I'm also very positive in thinking. I also believe in the good of people, and I can influence others to try out different things that I like.
Any examples?
An example is I started going to the gym alone because I like going to the gym, and now I have 4 friends with me who joined after seeing my progress.
Okay, fine. So Ankur sir, your verdict.
Hello, Alok. Hi, just relax now. So how was the interview, Alok?
Good, sir.
Okay. So Alok, basically there is some need to revise the basic fundamental of your content of your subject, right? So see, you were talking about the languages first. So C is the procedural language, right? Where we write a function and we go in a flow. But this C++, Java, C#, all these are what? Object-oriented functions, right?
Yeah.
So this was a very basic difference between these two particular languages, C and C++, and these are the, I would say, the first semester and second semester languages of your course, right? Then when I was discussing the different pictorial representation of flowcharts, so you define that flowchart as a pictorial representation. And when I asked the uses of the rectangle and the, say, rhombus, so there is a little confusion with you, right? So rectangle is used to get input of data and the start and end, right? And rhombus is basically a decision box, remember?
Okay.
Right. So these all like the basic fundamental of the subject we should be aware of, right? And when Jitender was asking that, okay, just tell us about some of your qualities so that any B school should take you, right? So this seems to us that okay, you would like reading a, say, executives from some English book. I am a team player, I'm a leader, I'm an influencer, I'm a, say, motivator, right? So these are like you're talking about some personality executives of a person. When you're talking about a team player, when you're talking about leader or something, so elaborate with your example. Take an example from a project, take an example from an internship, take an example from a college fest, school festivals, right? Games where you have involved, maybe like some in your society, maybe like in some surroundings area where you live. Right, so in place of like just directly quoting a different words, just elaborate them with a example so that the person can understand कि, okay, you have done this and yeah, this is a good quality of the leadership or team building skill. Right, just saying I'm a team player does not like entitle you to be a part of any team, right? You are a computer science engineer, and you know that okay, all these different IT companies are having a say big team working over a one project, Right. So how can you define or how can you prove that okay, yes, you are a good team player, and if you are placed in a one team, there will be a no conflict, there will be a no biasness from your side. Right. So just elaborate all these things with examples. And when you're talking, right? So I suppose you are shaking your legs, right? You are like just
Okay.
right. So this is like you're shaking your legs, and this shows that you are a little nervous and you are not getting a confidence in answering the question.
Okay.
Right. So when you're answering the question and when you're like sitting on a chair, sit firm with your back straight at a 90 degree of the seat, the base. Right? Just straight your back. Right. Yes. And as you're saying that okay, you are going to gym and you have started a gym, so you're sitting just like right down the shoulders and everything. So this show that okay, there is some lack of confidence in the candidate.
Okay, sir.
Right. When you're sitting, so if you're sitting like this, straight, shoulders are straight, this, right? If I say this type, so shoulders are going down, right? Shoulders are going down. We
Yes.
should actually, okay, there is some uncomfortability or maybe a lack of confidence in the candidate, and this will be going in a negative for you,
Okay.
right? So otherwise, rest everything is good. You have a knowledge, but yes, there is a little brushing up is required for the subject, right? And build a good posture, make a good eye connect with the
Okay.
camera or with the panel, right? And yes, everything will go fine,
Thank you, sir.
right?
One last bit of element I would like to add. Alok, you seem what I noticed was you seem to enjoy your gym experience, don't you? It seems you enjoy it a lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we talked about that, I noticed this spark in your eyes, right? This naughtiness, right? So see, that makes your personality very interesting. You
Okay.
try the way you talk, you seem to hide those elements. Those are your plus points. Don't hide it, right?
Okay.
If you can show that you like something, you enjoy it. That is why I asked you this question, what do you do for entertainment, right? Because
Okay.
you're hiding that spark within you, right? You initially used to go alone, now there are four people coming, we are four people going together, right? So when I asked this question, how do you connect with others and like that, in answering those questions, as sir very rightly said, don't list out those qualities, give examples. So
Okay.
suppose you were telling me like try to connect those people through my friend. Don't do I mean, you can say that, but you can also say that I used humor. I used humor. I cracked a few jokes so that everybody had a good laugh, and then they all became a part of the team and things like that. So I would like to see that humor as part of your personality. That will spice up your approach, your exterior, your appearance, your facade. It will spice up. So while answering questions, trying to say that I was trying to connect people, try to give example. I use a bit of humor also, but then while saying, let the emotion show on your face. You seem to be speaking in a very plain manner. There are no expressions showing on your face. So when, like sir very rightly said, when you're talking about gym, your shoulders were sagging. Your shoulders should not sag. I love going to gym and I'm enjoying it. I'm living it to the fullest. I crack jokes with my friend, and that's how I've learned to live. So try to show that happy emotion on your face. Right. Okay, that's all from my side.
Right. So best of luck, Alok.
Best of luck, Alok.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
best of luck. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir and madam.
Yeah.